you guys doing today? It's Anthony Gangi, host of On the Line. Welcome to another episode of On the Line. Some of you guys may recognize me as a correctional advocate. Others may recognize me as the host of a show called Tier Talk. But either way, I'm here to provide good information about the correctional system, prisons, jails, detention centers, whatnot. So today we're going to talk about policy and procedure, the importance of knowing policy and procedure, the importance of understanding policy and procedure. You got to realize something, guys. Policy and procedure is the lifeblood of any facility. Whether you work at a jail, a detention center, a prison, a correctional facility, it is the lifeblood. It is the evolution of where we are at today. Policy, procedure, rules, regulations, they're put into play based on the past of what worked and what didn't work. So basically, if this worked, keep it. If it didn't work, can we fix it? No, get rid of it. It is part of that evolution. Another reason why you want to understand policy and procedure is because the inmates are going to know it. The inmates are going to know policy and procedure, rules and regulations better than we ever could. Because again, they live there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So we need to be on top of that game. Because if we're not, they can easily circumvent those policies and procedures that are put into place to save lives. Because ultimately, that's why I would like to think policies and procedures are put into place. They're put into place to help run a safe and secure facility. And there's a reason for them to be put in place. Because again, the history brought it to that point where this works for this time. Now, with that said, you may have some inmates that may decide to play the game with you, and they may say, hey, I have a question about this. But all because they asked the question doesn't mean they don't know the answer. They could be testing you. So with that said, you still want to be able to make sure you're able to answer those questions. Because a lot of the times when they're asking you those questions, they just want to check your knowledge to see if you're on point. Because maybe they're thinking, well, if he doesn't know this, then I can circumvent around that. So again, it could be a test. Also, on another note, when you understand policy and procedure, it's good for you to defend when it doesn't work. So sometimes, again, policy and procedure is about the evolution, about where we're at. So sometimes policies and procedures may not be easily applied to every situation. We work in corrections. Sometimes we deal with a lot of unpredictable events. And sometimes policy and procedure may not be that easy to apply. But with that said, when you defend your perspective, you have to defend it from a perspective of knowing what policy and procedure is and why that policy and procedure did not work. So again, you still have to have that understanding, because as management, I'm going to ask you, well, policy says this. And then that's when you're going to turn around and say, I know what policy says. Policy says this, this, and this. But I'm going to tell you why that didn't work. And that's where positive change can happen, because now you have an informed front line who knows about policy and procedure, but now they're creating more to it to make it be more effective. And to be honest with you guys, that's how facilities evolve. That's the key of our evolution. Another reason why you want to know policy and procedure is because it's like your North Star. We're going to go through a lot of situations that are going to make us scramble. If we don't know policy and procedure, we're going to be scrambling with no destination. We're not going to know where we need to be. But having said that, if you do know policy and procedure, you may scramble a little, but it's all an effort to bring things back to that destination that you're aware of. So policy and procedure becomes like a North Star. You know, if you know it, you're never truly lost. And I agree with that. But I would love your thoughts on this. As always, guys, the show is On the Line, and look forward for more content coming.